Alison Holgate, Alex Nixon and Adam Turnbull. The 18th man even needed this afternoon is Josh Blinkhorn. It'll be the Thunder to get the game underway. Once they do get it underway, our man in the middle this afternoon, Luke Bland, first one to me down here at the recreation ground. We're just waiting now, and the game is underway through the boot of Alex Donaghy. Whitehaven will have first use of the ball, and they will be attacking the railway end in the first half, and Jake Pearce is the man to first of all fetch it forward. He's brought down just short of his own 20. Collins in there at dummy half, and now Henry Hadfield coming off the wing. Had this trouble last week. There's 4 of them with completely bald heads out there, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that this afternoon as well. In the hands now of Kellett, finds Mason Lewthwaite, and Lewthwaite's nearly through once more. Confidence will be very high following them 4 tries he scored last week. Collins in at dummy half, goes down the short side, and I think it's even Bigger, just able to keep hold of the ball. I thought there was an initial fumble there from Bigger. Whitehaven just short of halfway. Jordan Burns will now take them over it, the Whitehaven captain. He scored 4 tries as well last weekend. He's now the 5 and last, and they've made it to 38 metres away from the Newcastle line. Goes down the short side into the hands of Cam Brown. Brown will put the kick end over end up in the air, and Donaghy does well to collect it, but he's within his own 10 metres. The chase is good. Kellett's there. In fact, the chase is too good. Jack Kellett penalised for offside, and it gives the Thunder an opportunity to clear the lines.
Yeah, just about to say there, Jordan, a great set of 6 to start the game, but just a bit too enthusiastic there on the left hand side, just in front of the kicker, and an offside, and an easy piggyback for Newcastle.
So it means Thunder will start this 10 short of halfway. Take the tap now through James Fadder. Passing inside, I think, then to Gibson. It's going to be wrapped up and taken down. Matty Rolls be lying in wait at dummy half, 9 metres short of halfway. Chris Taylor does need to watch himself. He was definitely offside in front of us. Josh Stoker is the man that's been taken down, still short of halfway. There was 5 Whitehaven defenders involved in that tackle there. It's now Harry Lowry will look to try and take him forward, but he's met there by Jake Pearce, Jordan Thompson and Jack Kellett, all involved as well. Gone right, couple of pairs of hands. You can hear the shouts of nice there as a tackle coming from Jack Kellett and Jordan Thompson. Kellett pulling 2 monster shots on Harry Boots last week down in Penryn as Charlie Yeoman gets the kick away. It's going to bounce behind Jordan Burns, and he's going to have to do it here as the Whitehaven captain coming out from in goal. Shapes the dummy, and he's met by Alex Taylor and a couple of others in defence. He's trying to get a fast play of the ball. He's moved 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 metres potentially post contact. He's gone back to sort of 5 metres there, and it's Henry Hadfield that'll dive in at dummy half.
Yeah, that's even better 6 by Newcastle there. Put Whitehaven right on the try line. Great kick.
Mitchell Todd comes in up the opposite wing towards the middle to try and help his side forward out. And 25 metres away from their own line. In at centre field, Collins comes down to the right hand side to Newbegin. Newbegin then found Connor Holliday, and Holliday will be put down. 12 short of halfway, 10 metres in from this near grandstand touchline. Newbegin now finds Jordan Thompson, and Thompson just has to stick his head down and run it forward, and he's put down onto his back. 7 metres short of halfway on the 5 and last, comes into the hands of Newbegin. Newbegin will get the kick away, and Donaghy has to shield his eyes from the sun. He does well to collect it because he sat in a fumble there as well, did Alex Donaghy, and he's going to be pushed back 3 or 4 metres before being taken down. Then Judge have lost the ball upon contact there. Great work from Jake Pearce, who was mainly involved. Luke Collins and Connor Holliday as well to force the error. It'll be scrummed down, head and feet to Haven. First real opportunity coming, 3.5 minutes gone.
As you mentioned previously, Jordan, 5 tacklers in a tackle, and quite a few there, 3, 4, 5 tacklers in there, putting a lot of pressure on the Newcastle. And I guess that's something Muzzle will want to improve on, is the tackle control leading up to some big games coming up, especially the town game. So, some great signs of some good defence there, and Evans got a real chance to get the scoreboard ticking over.
Ball goes left from the base of the scrum, finds Brown, then finds Ethan Bickerdike. Bickerdyke's going to be wrapped up 11 metres out from the Newcastle line. Goes down the short side, there's no overlap there. Looking to go for it straight away. Mitchell Todd has to dive up, jump up in the air from the pass from Cam Brown. Brought down 3 metres out. Comes back across to Brown once more now, finds Jordan Thompson. And Thompson's taken down. It's 5-6 metres out, just to the left hand side of the post. Collins finds Brown, finds Pearce. And Jake Pearce is taken down. He's a metre out. He's put down onto his back, just in line with the right hand side post. Now comes Jack Kellett. Jack Kellett powers his way over. Just a little pop-up pass from Luke Collins. Well worked there from the Whitehaven hooker, and it's a loose forward Jack Kellett who'll dive over for his third of the afternoon in Whitehaven colours. Sorry, third of the season in Whitehaven colours. Just into the 6th minute here at the recreation ground. It is Haven 4, Newcastle 0.
Yeah, I liked the way they built that set there, Jordan. You know, they took it left off the scrum. They went to the touchline, left touchline, and then brought it back to the middle, worked the middle, and then a great line from Jack Kellett and a great ball by Luke Collins under the sticks. Fantastic start for Whitehaven.
It's the first time in a long time we've been able to hear the PA system. It's one of the many improvements we're starting to see down here at the recreation ground. It's great to see. Notice the new sort of junior fan club Mini Matters has had their stickers and sticker books handed out this afternoon as well, and they're going to be able to get an opportunity to fill them throughout the season. It's just them little things that Whitehaven seem to be getting better and better at.
Yeah, I noticed it last time I was down, Jordan. I think it was last key? Rochdale it was, Rochdale, and it's first time in a long time that I've heard the quite clearly, so yep, little improvements off the field, but more importantly, Whitehaven little improvements on the field.
Jordan Burns adds the extras from right in front. It leaves it at Whitehaven 6, Newcastle 0. Not the only game around Rugby League this afternoon. There is the Challenge Cup quarter final. If you're recording it, close your ears. It's Warrington 6, St Helens 0. Oldham have got an early score against Barrow in the 1895 Cup quarter finals. All the other games are 0-0. The only other game it's got a score so far apart from Haven League 1 is the early kick-off, 2 o'clock, Midlands 22, Dewsbury 6, as Jake Pearce will be the man to fetch the ball forward from the kick-off, and he's made it to the 20-metre line. Collins in there at dummy half once more, goes left into the hands of Mason Lewthwaite, and Lewthwaite will get the offload away into the hands of Cam Brown, and they'll find Jordan Thompson, and Thompson will run it forward. So this will be second tackle, 33 metres away from their own line here at Whitehaven. In the middle now with Kellett. Kellett throws the dummy in. Will make 11, 12, 13 metres before being brought down. 5 short of halfway. Comes right now into the hands of Newbegin, and it's going to be intercepted. The pass from Newbegin, and it'll be Jake Dickinson who's going to go in pretty much untouched. Brown will try to get back, and Biggerdike will try to get back. But the Thunder have hit back pretty much immediately. 7.5 gone here at the recreation ground. Jake Dickinson will score his first try of the season. Haven 6, Newcastle 4.
Yeah, disappointing there, Jordan. I was just about to say that, Whitehaven go through their the third consecutive set of 6 there, 100% there. But and it was looking all great, but we've decided to take a shot on the left there, and I think Jack's he looked a bit hesitant really with that pass. He didn't know whether to go long, go short, and it's just a hesitant pass that's been picked up by the Newcastle centre. Or was it the wing?
It was the wing. It was Jake Dickinson.
Jake Dickinson.
Who was able to stroll pretty much down this left-hand side in front of us down here in the grandstand. And it means Alex Donaghy, who is let's be honest, he's the star name in this Newcastle side. He's one that's stuck loyal to them. Did have a close season move to York, I think, last year, but could struggle to get in to that York side. I think he was going to be 3rd or 4th choice fullback, so made the move back to the Thunder, and like I said, definitely Chris Foreman star player. 3 tries in there, 5 appearances so far this season. He's going to come on it, right-footed Will Donaghy, and it scores level here at the recreation ground. 8.5 minutes on the clock. It is Haven 6, Thunder 6.
Yeah, just about to say it, Jordan. I think the best bet for this Whitehaven team is to just grind this Newcastle team down quite early. Get through your sets of 6, kick it deep, put Thunder under pressure, and gain territory, earn territory. And I think if Whitehaven can get the lion's share of the territory in this match, I think they score a few tries on the back of it, but they've got to earn that territory first, and that's just one way they haven't done that.
Kickoff will be allowed to bounce, and it's into the hands of Whitehaven, hands of Cam Brown. So Whitehaven will start 10 metres out. Comes into the hands now with Jordan Thompson, and could it be back-to-back tries for Jordan Thompson? Has he got the ball down? He has! Whitehaven hit back in less than a minute. Jordan Thompson. That kick-off was allowed to bounce and bounce and bounce, and it bounced kindly into the hands of Cam Brown, and then from the first play afterwards it's come right, and Jordan Thompson's gone underneath the sticks. Jordan Burns will have an opportunity to add the extras, and Whitehaven restore their advantage.
Well, if the message from Gus Fraser under them sticks was, we need a reaction on the back of that, there's your reaction. A great kick-off there. Thunder's let it bounce. I don't know if it's because of the sunshine, but the sun's right in their eyes at this moment in time. But they've let it bounce, and the bounce has been favourable to Whitehaven. And on the back of that, Jordan Thompson powers his way under the sticks.
Well, as you mentioned, Jordan Burns will have an opportunity to add on the extras. He's the man that's assumed the kicking duties. Cam Brown missed a few last week, and then it was sort of shared between them. Connor Holliday took one on, Jay Weatherall took a few on before he was deciding his knee was struggling too bad, and then Jordan Burns, who was the fourth Whitehaven goal kicker last week, has added the extras on this afternoon. We're 10.5 gone, or just short of 10.5 gone here at the recreation ground. It is now Whitehaven 12, Newcastle 6, and as you mentioned, David Seeds, if that was the message, let's get a reaction, they've got it pretty much straight away.
Yeah, as I say, fantastic kick-off, and they're the things you practice in training, them little things, you put that spiral on, you put it in the sunshine, and things like that can go for it or they can't go for it. On this occasion, it has gone for them, so good on Whitehaven, and, hopefully they can kick on from this.
Newbeggin will collect, and then it's Jake Pearce to fetch the ball forward from the kick-off. Collins in there at dummy half. Will now find Chris Taylor. And Taylor is going to be wrapped up 22 metres away from his own line, centre field. Collins finds Keller into Brown, and Whitehaven looking to go on to Mitchell Todd going down that left hand side. He's got options back inside. Finds Cam Brown. I think he passed a little bit earlier there, did Mitchell Todd. And Brown's going to be wrapped up by Matt Walsh. Comes right now into the hands of Ethan Bickerdike. And Bickerdike will be the man that's wrapped up, and it'll be a penalty for Whitehaven. Newcastle being pinned for offside. Yeah,
just a little bit of inexperience there from Mitchell, and what looked like it is on the far side, but it might have been some good positioning from the Thunder fullback there to stop that try.
Sort of Jack Kellett will be the man to take it forward. Whitehaven have elected to take the tap from the penalty. Haven 12, Newcastle 6. If you are just joining us, 12 minutes gone here at the recreation ground. Brown now comes out the back, and he burns it to come off the hands of Dickinson. It's come off. It's going to be left, right. It's going to be a knock on. He's going to be a Whitehaven scrum down, head and feed. It's a good job Jake Dickinson got there. He was almost away for the interception once again, was Dickinson. But if he didn't get there, Whitehaven went in for their third of the afternoon, either through Chris Taylor or Emery Hadfield.
Yeah, Whitehaven, very expansive in these early stages, Jordan, which is, it's maybe a tactic they're going with there, just, to try and blow and blitz this Newcastle Thunder team away. But when you're going to be expansive, then it's Irish rugby, and risk some errors and things that don't really help some of your rugby. So I don't know if it's a tactic or it's just something they decided to do.
Had to come back. Referee Luke Bland wasn't quite happy with the scrum that was there. Goes left now into the hands of Brown. Finds Burns. Burns has to step back inside. Ball come left from the base of the scrum. And the Whitehaven captain will be wrapped up and stopped eventually. Held call has to come eventually to stop there. Just Jordan Burns, 3 metres out, going to go down that left hand side. Comes in the hands of even Bickerdike. Bickerdike, has he got to be brought down? He has. Must only be less than a metre. There was Bickerdike. Jack Kellett twists his way over, got the ball down. Has Jack Kellett. 14th minute gone here at the recreation ground. It is Whitehaven's third of the afternoon. Jack Kellett with his second, his fourth of the season, and Whitehaven continue to rack up the points in the early stages, 16 points to 6.
And that's a flexible Jack Kellett there, Jordan. That's a poor pass from Luke Collins, pretty much round his ankles there, but young Kellett's caught it there and managed to keep his momentum. That takes him over the line, so another try for Jack. The out wide, struggling a little bit at the moment with some of the passing and Thunder's defence, but up the middle, that's where we seem to be making the most success at the moment.
Got the Newcastle coaching staff just behind us, and of course Chris Foreman, of course the former coach just down the road at Workington Town. he's just trying to rebuild this Newcastle side, isn't he? Obviously following the issues they've had in the last few seasons. He's giving it a good go, but as you said, David, when you see in the lineup, there's not many names in there that many outside of Newcastle will probably know well.
No, I certainly don't, Jordan. I had a quick talk with Chris just before the game there. Yeah, tough, really tough on him at this moment in time, and it's first to say that he's rebuilding this team, really stripping it back to basics, and he's got a really young team where he's having to teach some of them kids the basics. So yeah, really tough ask for Chris, but like I said to him, without Chris Coleman, there might not have been a Newcastle Thunder. So good on him.
Jordan Burns has added on the extras, remains 3 from 3. Does the Whitehaven captain. He was 4 from 4 at the back end of last week, so he's 7 from 7, 100% with the boot. Across 2 games, Jordan Burns is so far. We've just ticked over into the 16th minute here at the Recreation Ground. If you are just joining us, it's Whitehaven 18, Newcastle Thunder 6. 2 tries from Jack Kellett, 1 from Jordan Thompson. Jake Dickinson with an interception in reply after Kellett's first. For Whitehaven, kick-off it comes, it's going to go deep, and Jack Newbegin collects it, and it's going to be Henry Hadfield that's there, but because of how deep and high it was, the Newcastle defence are essentially on top of them straight away, and they're trying to push Hadfield back there. It's eventually put down onto his front. Is Hadfield. It is going to be a penalty for Whitehaven, second of the afternoon in favour of the home side, of laying down a bit too long with the Newcastle side there, and Newbegin will just find touch. Quite happy to only find sort of 15 metres, make sure he finds touch. And Whitehaven will have an opportunity once more to get a fresh set of 6, starting 25 metres away from their own line. Taylor will take the tap and elect to fetch it forward from the penalty. 10 metres in from this near grandstand touch line. Just short of his own 40 is Taylor. Now Jake Peace will take Whitehaven over that 40. Gibson and Taylor involved in that tackle. Collins towards the middle now with Newbegin. Newbegin runs it across the line and then finds Jack Kellett. Kellett will take Whitehaven over the halfway line. Collins comes right into the hands then of Jack Newbegin. Back inside then to Jake Pearce. And the former Wafrow man is taken down 35 metres away from the Newcastle line. 20 in from the grandstand touchline. Jordan Burns comes in from fullback to try and take Whitehaven forward further. It is now the 5 and last, 25 metres out, in line with the right hand side post. They're coming down this short right hand side. Newbegin puts the kick towards the corner, and Hadfield he's forced the error, and it's just going to have been knocked dead. He forced the error there on Jake Dickinson, and if it bounced it could have bounced right into the hands of Henry Hadfield. Instead it's a goal line dropout into the 18th minute, still 18-6 in favour to Whitehaven.
Yeah, Hadfield all his eyes on what do they call him, Jake Dickinson there instead of the ball, and I think if he has his eyes on the ball there, then he picks it up quite quickly and he scores a try there. That's a chance gone begging.
So be Donaghy with the goal line dropout, and then they're all going to be penalised for offside. You don't imagine Whitehaven will look to go for 2 here. You imagine they'll go for the jugular, because Whitehaven's going to have a fresh set of 6, 10 metres out. Collins will be the man to take the tap, and he will find Jack Kellett. Searching for the hat-trick in the early stages is Jack Kellett, and he's only just brought down before the line there is Kellett. To the left-hand side of the post, attacking the railway end, goes left, and it's Mason Lufwade, is it? There's too many of them with a bald head out there. It is Mason Lufwade, gets his 8th try of the season after scoring 4 last week. He hasn't done too badly when he has been involved as Mason Lufwade. His 8th try of the season. Whitehaven get their 4th of the afternoon just into the 19th minute. It is Whitehaven 22, Newcastle Thunder 6.
Yeah, Mason Lufwade never scored that many at Kells, never mind down here.
I watched him score 4 in the try for Kells one, mind you. I said this last week. There was one, I think it was the Jubilee weekend. They put 90 points past Mike, and I had to go back and find it. And he did score many on that afternoon. But yeah, probably hasn't scored that many in a Kells shirt.
But no, he's in some great form at this moment in time, and he's had to work his way into this team as Mason. So good on him for that patience that he's had. But he's in that second row position, and hopefully he can keep it his for the next few weeks. So and on that performance and on that them tries, then difficult to budge him. But great try. But nobody's going to stop Mason Luther from a couple of yards out at that pace.
Absolutely not. There's not many stopping anyone at that sort from that close range. Jordan Burns will be the man to attempt to add the extras. He'll come with it right-footed, sort of 11-12 metres out. Remains 100% with the boot. Does Jordan Burns. It is Whitehaven 24, Newcastle Thunder 6, and we mentioned about complacency in the build-up, David Sage, and apart from that sort of willy pass, warny pass from Jack Newbergen that eventually got intercepted, Whitehaven have been pretty much at the races so far this afternoon.
Yeah, like John, I mentioned it before, we're getting a lot of success up the middle there, certainly in them territory. Newcastle are giving us a lot of territory on their try line at this moment in time with errors and penalties, so while we're there, then a lot of success in that middle, so keep going down the middle. That's where you success. First, another knock on.
Jack Newbergen couldn't collect from the kick-off, and it will give Newcastle an opportunity here. And that's something that Whitehaven and Anthony Murray will definitely have a word of. That not Whitehaven's been complacent, but they've been a little bit wasteful in sort of them sort of areas, and they want them to pack that out.
Yeah, and it's just concentration levels, John. I wouldn't put that down to complacency. It's more concentration. You've got to, you've got a kick coming your way, then you've got to catch it. You've got to concentrate. You've got to catch it.
Coming right now into the hands. I think it looks to be Josh Stoker, close to the Whitehaven line here. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half, and it comes across to Toby Gibson, and Gibson's been judged to have been held up. Good work from the Whitehaven defence. Kellett seems to be underneath it. A couple of others there potentially. I think Jordan Thompson, Jake Pearce might have been involved that as well. So all the middles involved. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half. Goes right into the hands then of Charlie Yeoman, and Yeoman popped it back inside. And the Thunder man will be wrapped up. Ackroyd once again in at dummy half. Comes left. Comes then cross once more to Jacob Bateman. In on Jill Reg from the Bradford Bulls. And Bateman will be stopped just short. It is the 5 and last. Only a couple of metres out. Ball's bounced before finding Donaghy. Donaghy looks to get the kick in behind. Henry Hadfield will just try and knock it dead, or watch it dead, and he has been able to watch it dead. And it'll be a top 20 and a 7 tackle set here for Whitehaven.
Yeah, one of the improvements I've liked over the last few weeks, Jordan, is Whitehaven's improvement on goal line defence, and and that's one thing that they've done really well over the last few weeks. And I say, going into these bigger matches ahead, that's one thing that's got to be nailed on for them, and they've got to keep improving. So, yeah, I thought that was a good, solid defensive set there for Whitehaven.
Mitchell Todd will be the man to fetch it forward. This will be the first tackle, obviously following the 0 tackle, and he's unfortunately lost it there as Mitchell Todd. So we scrum down head and feet to Thunder, and they're quite happy to try and force the errors here to Thunder, and they're finding the occasional 1 or 2 from Whitehaven. We scrum down head and feet to this Newcastle side.
And on the flip side, if there's any further improvements in this Whitehaven side, it is their discipline with and without the ball. And with the ball at this moment in time, I think I've got 3 or 4 there in the first 20 minutes. So, it's something you can get away with against Newcastle, but you won't get away with the bigger teams.
Ball goes right from the base of the scrum. Whitehaven connection. Ackroyd finds Walsh, and Walsh is going to be taken down 38 metres out. Into the hands now with Bateman once more, and Bateman's going to be put down onto his back 32 metres out. Comes left into the hands of the loose forward Gibson. A couple of pairs of hands before finding Donaghy. Donaghy looks to step back inside and tries to get away from Connor Holliday, but Pearce is in there alongside Holliday, and who else is going to be coming off top of there? It's Jordan Thompson. Goes right now into the hands of Shaw. Shaw then pops it up to Gibson, and Gibson pops it up once more, and Newcastle continue to try and turn the screw here. Goes right, and looking to put a kick in behind. There's no one there, and if the Newcastle man can get there, they'll get there fastest, and it's just going to be dead. Just dead. Must have only just been dead.
Really lucky there, Jordan. Really, really lucky. Full-back Jordan Burns was out of position, and he beat the centre and the winger there. So if that was shorter, that's a certain try for Newcastle.
Whitehaven living dangerously there. They need to ensure they can keep hold of the ball and not give Newcastle them opportunities, despite being 24 points to 6 up in as many minutes. Collins in there at dummy half, comes into the hands now of Chris Taylor. Taylor in the middle, just short of halfway. It's Collins is in there at dummy half, comes across then to Jordan Thompson, now finds Pierce finds Connor Holliday. It comes off the hand of Jack Dickinson. It should be scrum down head and feet to Whitehaven. It will be Whitehaven continuing to live dangerously with and without the ball, as you mentioned, David Seeds. It's not quite going off on them at the moment, although they have had a let off there.
No, a good sort of first 10-12 minutes, and then for the last sort of 5, 6, 7 minutes it's from both sides really. Errors, penalties, stop start, bit edgy, and that's where I would hope Whitehaven would sort of be the better person here and put it right quicker than the Newcastle and get back to the basics.
Just got a stoppage in play. Jake Dickinson's just down below us. I think he got a finger to the eye in that little sort of fracas between when they were trying to get the ball once it was knocked down. Nothing intentional, but he's just needing something from the physio, just a bit of reassurance more than anything else. Not an awful lot he can do with a finger to the eye, to be honest, can you? But will be scrum down head and feed to Whitehaven, bang on halfway, bang on centre field. Ball goes left from the base of the scrum into the hands of Cam Brown. Now finds Bickerdike and Whitehaven have made it 18 metres here, so they're 32 metres away from the Newcastle line. Comes across towards the middle now with Burns, who then finds Jordan Thompson, and Thompson will try and look for a gap in this Newcastle defence. There's not one there on this occasion. He's 23, 24 metres out middle now with Cam Brown. Brown finds Burns and out the back Newbegging. It's just a little bit clunky in attack there from Whitehaven as they're trying to shift the ball out to the edges. But Newbegging will be the man that's wrapped up. 22 metres out, 15 metres or so in from this popular the grandstand touchline. Kellett in the middle now. Take Whitehaven over that 20 metre mark, sort of 15 metres away now, in line with the right hand side post. Collins goes left. Brown, Newbegging, Burns finds Mitchell Todd. Todd looks to has to come back inside. And they're trying to drag him into touch of Newcastle, but they can't do it. But it will be the 5 and last as Harry Price gets ready to come on for Newcastle down below us. Comes right into the hands of Brown. Brown will look for the crossfield kick. And it's missed. Into the hands of Connor Holliday. Will he put the ball down? Is it going to be ruled a knock on? First knock on, no knock on. It's going to be a knock on. Not quite sure if it's a Whitehaven knock on or a Newcastle knock on. Scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven. So Jake Dickinson, who hasn't looked the best trying to get ball in hand so far this afternoon, judged to have knocked on once more. Scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven.
Now, as you said, Jordan, bit messy, bit clunky in their attack there. Like I said before, go back to your success areas. We're battering them around the middle, so earn the right round that middle, and then win that bat. Oh, it's a good.
Whitehaven, Anthony Money needs to get the word out there.
Yeah,
he does.
We're going wide far too early.
Far too early.
You've got to earn the right to go wide, and currently this Whitehaven team is not doing that. They're taking Newcastle lightly on the fringes there.
Complacency. We've mentioned it to being a buzzword of the afternoon. Are they being a bit complacent out there?
There's complacency and there's stupidity, Jordan. And at this moment in time, what they're doing is not great.
So it'll be scrum down, head and feed to Newcastle, just in case, obviously we didn't really get to see what had happened. And Cam Brown, ball come left from the base of the scrum. Brown looked to get it over the top towards Mitchell Todd. There's a bit too much loft on that, and he had to come back inside to look to get the offload away to Jordan Burns, and couldn't get his offload into it. It was short. Jordan Burns had knocked on, and this is where we are now. Scrum down, head and feet to Newcastle. Mac Walsh needing a bit of treatment, so we have a stoppage.
And that's where you lack a bit of seniority in your halfbacks. You get halfback there. We need to go back to the basics, back to what we're doing well. And going wide with the ball. But we've got to do the work up the middle first. We've got to put Newcastle on the back foot, and then we can earn the right to go wide. A little bit of inexperience from the half-backs there that just need to take this game by the scruff of the neck and reset it really.
Mackwell still seeking some treatment on the brilliant try line. He's up on his feet now. Is Mac Walsh, of course, obviously spent the last half of the sort of season on loan from Toulouse until I think they recalled him sort of game. It was the game to go, 2 games to go. Did the French outfit. Played in that famous victory at Dewsbury, one of the 14, but the game is back underway now. And it's going to be a penalty for a ball strip, and it's just allowing Newcastle yet again to get further down the field, as Harry Price is now out there for for Thunder, replacing Harry Lowley. Still no changes from Whitehaven, although we're nearly 27 minutes in. So Anthony Murray keeping his cards close to his chest at the moment. 25 metres out when Newcastle take this tap. Ackroyd gets it across. They're going for it from play one here. And Newcastle, but they've picked up and dumped the new man fresh onto the field in Harry Price. And now finds Toby Gibson. Gibson's brought down by Lewthwaite and Brown, still short of their own 30. Looking to come across now this Thunder side. Brought down 12 short of halfway. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half, goes for a couple of pairs of hands. The big man will try and twist and turn out to the tackle. It is the interchange Jamie Gill. Just short of halfway. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half. Goes back towards the middle now with the half back Charlie Yeoman. Donaghy then gets it out to James Farrer, then finds Mac Walsh. Walsh will look to put the kick in, should be too deep. Jordan Burns has to deal with it, and it's going to be a goal line drop out there. You potentially heard something behind us from Chris Foreman, which if you did hear it, I apologise. Won't say any more than that, but it wasn't all too complimentary towards Mac Walsh, but he's found a goal line dropout.
Yeah, best attacking set of the game there, Jordan. Full of enthusiasm. They've caught Whitehaven out wide there. They've got it on the outside of young Todd there. So, and a great kick and a more enthusiastic chase from Newcastle.
That's going to be allowed to bounce once more. He bounces and he bounces and he bounces into the hands of. Is it? I can't tell who it is. It's one of the big. I think it could be Jamie Gill, but it just went through the Whitehaven defence like a knife through butter, and is now 15 metres out, and it is a 6 again as well in favour of Newcastle. Aaron Turnbull's out there to replace Jordan Thompson. Comes left into the hands then of Gibson. Couple of pairs of hands and then gets it across then to the second row in Alex Taylor, and Taylor's just going to be brought down. Knocking on the door once more in Newcastle. Ackroyd. He's trying to get his arm threes and Newcastle on back into the hands of Ackroyd, and it's then going to be dropped. And then Newcastle getting a bit of white line fever there, it seems. There's Alison Allgate now out there to replace Luke Collins, and the message will be going out from Anthony Murray that stop giving this side an opportunity, because when they have had opportunities, David says, they've looked dangerous.
They have, they've just gone through a spell there that they've out-enthused Whitehaven in all departments there, but a bit like Whitehaven at Newcastle, then now Newcastle at Whitehaven, and just a little impatient there, a bit more patient with the ball, and as you say, a bit white line fever.
It's be Chris Taylor who gets the ball from the base of the scrum. The ball come right. Eventually put down there. We're around about the half-hour mark here at the recreation ground. It's Whitehaven 24, Newcastle 6. Henry Hadfield's the man that's put down, 24 metres away from his own line. Into the hands now of Mitchell Todd, and Todd will take Whitehaven over that 30-metre mark. 15 short of halfway. Just to the left of centre, comes across to the middle now with Aaron Turnbull, and Turnbull put down 7 or 8 metres out. Holgate in there at dummy half. Jordan Burns will skip his way over the halfway line. It's the 5 and last. Holgate will go left into the hands of Brown, and Brown has a bit of pressure put on him, but he's able to get the kick away, and Mac Walsh will come to put it underneath it. He's ended up on the ground there as Cam Brown, not too sure how. But referee Luke Bland not interested, and Newcastle will start this set 30 metres away from their own line.
That ball's got to go deeper, Jordan. It's got to go deeper. It can't be that short. That's an easy start for Newcastle on their 30-40 yard line there. It's got to go deeper.
That should be crossing. Oh, you could hear the shout from here. Definitely should have been a penalty for crossing in favour of Whitehaven there. Ackroyd in at dummy half, and he'll come find Alex Taylor. Good work there from the Whitehaven defence to recover, because Newcastle did have numbers. Ackroyd potentially forward to the hands of Harry Price yet again. Referee and such judge not interested. It will be the 5 and last, just over the halfway line. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half and going to the hands of Yeomans, and Yeoman's kick isn't the best, which means it catches everyone off guard. It bounces back into the hands of a Newcastle man, but he'll be wrapped up pretty much straight away. I was going to say, what's he waiting for? I think he thought it was, well, he kind of thought it was in a Whitehaven hand, because you then went to put the offside line in Whitehaven's. Oh well. in the end up now, it is Whitehaven's ball. Cam Brown will play the ball, finds Ethan Bickerdike. And another change as Brad Brennan comes on the field to replace Jake Pearce. Aaron Turnbull will be the man to fetch it forward now. It's a warm round of applause. There's Pearce from the grandstand alongside us. Hull gets in there at dummy half and scoots, finds 10, 11, 12 metres, takes Whitehaven over halfway. Brown's in there at dummy half and he'll look to go himself, and now into the hands of Mason Lufwaite. And Lufwaite will be brought down 31 metres away from this Newcastle line. Newbegging now. Holiday looking to go for it again. Finds Taylor. Finds Henry Hadfield. And Hadfield has got nothing but green grass in front of him. And he will score his first try in a Whitehaven shirt. Will the former Workington Town man. And it's a play where left to right has eventually come off for Whitehaven. Hadfield will score, as I mentioned, will score his first try in a Whitehaven shirt in just his second appearance. And it is now Whitehaven 28, Newcastle Thunder 6.
Yeah, tidy set there, Jordan, and that's all Whitehaven need to do. You know, they're making great yards. They're getting a good fast play of the balls around that ruck there. Now we've got Ellison Allgate now. I think that ruck play will be a little bit faster now, and a little bit faster coming from Ellison. So, and they've worked it up that middle. They've sucked them into the middle, and they've went wide with some fantastic little ball play there from Holiday to Taylor, and Taylor to Hadfield. A lovely little try there, but that's how easy it can be if you can stick to that sort of format. You know, that's all it needs. It doesn't have to be going wide on the first tackle or the second tackle. You know, work them up the middle first, and the gaps will appear on the outside.
Jordan Burns will look to tag on the extras. It's Whitehaven's 5th of the afternoon. We make it just under 6 minutes to the half-time. Hooter will sound here at the recreation ground, and he's looking to maintain a 100% record with the boot. Is Jordan Burns. Will come on it right-footed. 20 metres on the straight, a little bit of angle involved for the Whitehaven captain. And he is just nearly knocked the seagull out, and he clips the far left-hand side post, and he has a little chuckle at the team manager Ellis Cribbing down there. And it is now Whitehaven 30, Newcastle Thunder 6. I'd love to give you some scores from elsewhere, but it seems like the BBC Sport website and app just isn't updating as it should, because apparently all games in League One are 0-0. So we'll leave it at that. We'll have a look and see if we can get them at half-time, maybe get them from somewhere else. Still got Warrington and St Helens at half-time, and that should have kicked off around, the second half should have kicked off around about 10 minutes ago. So it seems to have done this in recent weeks, but you're with us, so that's all that matters. Yeah, you're getting the same ones I'm getting. So yeah, they haven't moved for about 10 minutes, so we'll leave them at that. Newcastle will get the game back underway through the boot of Alex Donaghy. Coming towards Jack Newbegging once more. No, it comes towards Jordan Burns, and Burns collects and then finds Aaron Turnbull. Turnbull will look to return it with interest. Fair play to the Newcastle defence. Line speed is still good from them kickoffs, and he's now in the hands of Hadfield. The try scorer, yes it is. He'll play the ball 22-23 metres out, comes into the hands now of Brad Brennan. Brennan then finds Lufwaite, who runs a good line, but just stopped by the Newcastle defence, trying to get his arm free for an offload there. They need to change. Ellis Nixon's now on the field to replace Jack Kellett. That was just after the try there from Henry Hadfield. Goes left, looking to go down the short side once more. Even Bickerdike's through on the left-hand side. Steps, the fullback, gets it in the hands of Jordan Burns, and it will be back-to-back tries for Whitehaven. Jordan Burns scores what is his first of the afternoon, his 5th of the season, following that 4 down in Cornwall last weekend. And that's what Whitehaven need to do, David C. Just run it up the middle, then find the gap on the edge. Burns the benefactor there, his 5th of the season. It's Whitehaven 34, Newcastle 6.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, and Whitehaven's been good at that lately. So you know, and that's that. Sometimes that's a problem with the weakened opposition, where you can think you can go wide early because you know what's in front of you. But you know, to Newcastle's defence, you know they've been pretty good when they've gone wide. So, but you know, Whitehaven keep chipping away at that middle, keep chipping away, and eventually, as I say, the gaps will come out wide.
You've got to earn that right. You beat them down the middle. Yep. That's when then the defence will suck in, and that's when you should find the gaps on the edges. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly it, Jordan. You know, and it's an easy formulation, but you know, it's amazing how many teams don't do it sometimes.
Jordan Burns will look yet again to add on the extras. It is 34 points to 6 currently. He's from right in front is Jordan Burns. He should make no error, but I'll always say I've seen them miss from here before. I'm not saying it missed on this occasion. Jordan Burns will tag on the extras. 3 minutes till half time as we make it here, and Whitehaven are back up and running around about a point a minute. Just take over into the 37th minute. It is Whitehaven 36, Newcastle Thunder 36. Well, thank you very much to Josh Broach in the PA box, who's just confirming that I've got my maths and my figures right. 6 tries, 6 goals, leaves it at 36 points for the home side. And Newcastle look like they can't really wait for half-time, that half-time hoot at the sound. But in all fairness, they have played, in their limited ball they've had at times, they have played some good rugby out there.
And I think where they've been good is when they've made it messy. When they made it messy, in that rucking, they've kicked it straight out. That's a poor kick. Puts them right on the back foot again.
Puts them right on the back foot, but also they're sensing an opportunity that they've known they've pinned Whitehaven from them kick-offs and just they've got a little bit greedy there, did Alex Donaghy. Penalty for Whitehaven, their 4th of the afternoon, and it gives Whitehaven another opportunity to try and get their 7th of the first half, going into the final 2 minutes of the opening 40 here at the recreation grounds. Cam Brown will kick the touch. You can tell I was a little bit hesitant because it looked like it was just potentially could have fallen short. Found 20 metres there as Cam Brown. So Whitehaven will start this 30 metres away from this Newcastle Thunder line. Grandstand side, Chris Taylor will take the tap and then puts it towards Newbeggin, then finds Aaron Turnbull, and Turnbull will run it forward. Seemed like a little training play move was potentially on there, but he just run it forward there, did Turnbull. 20 metres out, in line with the left hand side post, attacking the railway end. Holgate in there at dummy half, will pop it up for Brad Brennan, and Brennan will just be taken down. 12 metres out, gets a fast play of the ball. Holgate once again in at dummy half. Brown now finds Bickerdike. Bickerdike will try and twist out of the tackle. He's going to be brought down. Is the centre. A metre out. Holgate swings it into the hands of Brown. Brown will put a little kick in behind, and he'll chase it himself, will Cam Brown, and he'll ground it there, will Cam Brown. Fantastic work from the Whitehaven halfback. It initially looked far too deep, but he bounced kindly for the Australian halfback. I don't think that's in the playbook, and I can tell by the reaction by Anthony Murray that he's got a little bit of laughter there. Did the Whitehaven head coach? You have to imagine it would probably been a few stern words if it didn't come off, but it has. It's the 7th of the afternoon, and Whitehaven are 40 points.
It's like you said,
up.
Jordan. I think them first 3 players are right out of the. They've been practicing them. That's a penalty move. That's a playbook move. But that 4th play by Cameron Brown, that's just individual. That's just eyes up, no fullback. Fullback's in the tackle. I'm going out. I'm going myself, and a perfectly weighted. Well, near enough perfectly weighted kick, and he's chased it as fast as he can, and he's managed to get that down just before the dead ball there. But fantastic individual try by Cameron Brown. Good on him.
Well, that is the half-time hooter you heard in the background. Still waiting for Jordan Burns to take on this conversion if he can go 7 from 7 this afternoon. The Whitehaven captain. And he does so. It's the half-time score here at the recreation ground is Whitehaven 42, Newcastle Thunder site. Not too far from getting back underway here. Be Whitehaven attacking right to the left in the second half, attacking the Kells end in the second half for Whitehaven. About to get the game back underway, and we do now through the boot of Jordan Burns, and that is collected by James Farrer, who will find Mac Walsh, of course formerly of this parish, on loan last season was Walsh, brought down by Brown and Lewthwaite, and it's lost straight away there from the Newcastle man in Jamie Gill. The interchange for Whitehaven have an opportunity here right from the kick-off in the second half. Ball goes right now into the hands of Newbeggin before finding Connor Holliday, and Holliday will be wrapped up 15 metres out for Whitehaven. Back on the attack within 30 seconds of kicking off. Comes left into the hands now of Newbeggin. Newbeggin pops it up into the hands of Ellis Nixon, and Nixon will be taken down just to the right hand side of the post. Holgate in there, comes to the middle now with Brad Brennan. Brennan gets the pass then across to Aaron Turnbull, but then Turnbull will lose it up on contact. So it'll be scrum down, head and feet to Newcastle, and just a good hit up there from the Newcastle man. Force the header from Aaron Turnbull, scrum down, head and feet to Newcastle, 10 metres away from their own line, a minute gone.
Yeah, very rare you see that the first couple of sets after half time. I imagine Chris has had a few words, as Muzzer with some of Whitehaven's play as well. So I imagine, they have that stern words, but for both teams to come out and make 2 errors is you don't say that very often. So
773 inside the recreation ground this afternoon, which, considering United City's on in an hour or so, and plenty of other people will look at this and go, I don't mind missing this one. You'd imagine it's pretty might be run of the mill. Quite happy with just short of 800 in here, the recreation ground this afternoon. Newcastle will look to fetch the ball forward. This will be second tackle, I think. Ackroyd will find himself in there at dummy half. Mac Walsh once again looking to try and fetch it forward here, and he's brought down by Aaron Turnbull and Mason Lewthwaite. Ackroyd, as he always did in a Whitehaven shirt, looked a little bit of a live wire in at dummy half. And to be, I think it's Gibson, the man that's being brought down, just short of their own 30 here. And the Newcastle side have made it to just over the 32-33 metre line now. 5 and last. Kick goes away, and it's not going to be the best kick, it means it's going to bounce because Mitchell Todd won't get there, and it bounced kindly for Newcastle. Then he's done well as Mitchell Todd to get there, just threw his body there when he knew he might get hurt. And Ethan Bigdyke with the man taking down second tackle.
Yeah, great pressure. Ellison Allgate on the kicker. Whitehaven did say that kicker at the back. Another mistake. Yeah, back to Ellison. Good pressure there, which that kick didn't go as far as it should have went, and Todd swept that up quite easily. But then on the back of that, Whitehaven with another error. That's 2 errors in 2 sets.
Emery Hadfield was the man who dropped the ball. Maybe, I think he was squinting a little bit. The sun is there, obviously attacking, coming from the Kells end. Whitehaven are attacking in the second half. But it'll be scrum down, head and feed to Funder. Charlie Yeoman will feed the scrum, and it's held. Ackroyd then finds Yeomans, then finds Shaw, and Shaw gets it across. I think it'll be Michael Hansen on that side. Comes back towards the middle now, but then into the hands of Toby Gibson, and Gibson finds Gill. He's brought down by Lewthwaite. Brown helps him in complete the tackle alongside Ethan Bickerdike. Ackroyd goes back towards the middle now with the couple of half-backs into the hands then of Harry Price. And Price is going to be wrapped up, put down onto his back eventually. They're 22, 23 metres out here are the Thunder. Gone down the short side in the hands of Alex Taylor. 15 metres out now, coming back towards the middle. Gets popped up into the hands of the loose forward Toby Gibson. Put down onto his back, it's the 5 and last, the 12 metres out in line with the left hand side post. Attacking the railway end are the visitors. Kick towards the corner, and Mitchell Todd does and should collect that, and it's a tap 20 in a 7 tackle set. Oh no, it won't be a 7 tackle set, but it is a tap 20. And he'll take the tap ball, Mitchell Todd, and run it forward, and he's done well there. He's made 10 metres.
Yeah, good alertness there from Mitchell. Good and good, well positioned. Seeing that kick coming a mile off, so he's managed to get back there, catch it in goal, and a quick tap, and Whitehaven on the front.
Bickerdike trying to get a fast play of the ball. Holgate, Chris Taylor now. Will be eventually brought down. Will Chris Taylor on halfway. Holgate lining weight at dummy half, comes left into the hands of Brennan, and Brennan will just run it forward, trying to get his arm free. Does get into the hands of Cam Brown, who'll then find Mason Lewthwaite, and they've made another 20 metres nearly almost since following that offload there from Brennan. Lewthwaite's taken down 22 metres out. Holgate goes into the hands of Jordan Burns with a sidestep. There's Jordan for being brought down. 15 out now. Holgate in there at dummy half. Goes left into the hands of Mason Lewthwaite. Lewthwaite's taken down. It's a 5 and last. They are within 10 of Whitehaven. Potentially within 5. Holgate. Will he look to go himself? He wants to pop it up for Brad Brennan, and I don't care who you are not stopping Brad Brennan from there. I've said that a few times so far this season, and he was stopped, but no one was stopping him there. 6 minutes into the second half, Whitehaven score their 8th of the afternoon. It is Whitehaven 46, Newcastle Thunder 6.
Yeah, that's exactly a mirror try from the Kellett. When Collins dropped Kellett off there, just drops him off on the inside. Great line from Kellett earlier, but even better line from Brad Brennan here, and a great ball by Ellison Allgate. That seems to be a little move they have quite close to the line, and I see why, because nobody's stopping likes of Kellett and Brennan that close to the line. So good little try there from Whitehaven, and a nice build-up before that. Plenty of yardage set, nice and controlled, and again up the middle. That's where the success has been, and will carry on in this game.
It's his second try of the season for Brad Brennan. Play with Anthony Muddy pretty much everywhere he's been. Barrow, North Wales, had a spell at Workington with him last year.
Yeah, and again, from improvement point of view, Brad Brennan has been a massive improvement from the first game I watched down here in the Egg Memorial against Workington. He was so glad there was unlimited subs because he didn't last long on there. So, his fitness levels have come on leaps and bounds as Brad, and he's a big impact player, is Brad, and this team heavily depends on that.
Jordan Burns adds the extras, remains 100% with the boot, 8 from 8. 11 from 11, including those from last week as well. It's Whitehaven 48, Newcastle Thunder 6. And Whitehaven can't go top of the table this afternoon because Midlands have dominated Dewsbury. Midlands 46, Dewsbury 12. See if they've updated. Nah, still says we're half time. I'm 7.5 minutes in. Yeah, we're going to have to call that a bad job this afternoon. Jack Newbin will collect from the kick-off and then find, is it Jordan Thompson? No, it can't be Thompson. He's down here somewhere. Henry Hadfield. See, there's too many with a bald head out there. They're going to have to, honestly, they're going to have to start growing hair, some of them. As it's...
I think it's the fashion, Jordan.
Ellis Nixon was the man who played the ball on the second tackle. Ball is stripped. Penalty for Whitehaven. So that's the first penalty of this half. Whitehaven have got the penalty count in their favour at 5 penalties to 3, including that one there. Kick isn't the best from Cam Brown to touch, but it's made 15, 16 metres. And Whitehaven will start this exactly on halfway. As Chris Taylor will tap and now find Newbegin. Newbegin will then find Ellis Nixon, former Seaton man who spent a couple of games back on dual edge before being re-involved in Anthony Muddy's side in the last couple of weeks. Holgate goes right into the hands of Newbegin, now finds Burns. Burns finds Chris Taylor. Taylor will look to step up. And he's 32 metres away from the line here. 10 metres in from the Popular side touchline. Newbegin will dummy and go himself. Will the half back before being put down onto his front 25 metres out. Comes left into the hands of Brennan. Brennan will run it to the line and then find Brown. Brown will then find Mason Lufway. There was a 3-on-2 overlap on the edge. Lufway trying to twist and turn and get out of that tackle, maybe to try and get his arm through before being brought down. 12-13 metres out into the hands now of Brown for finding Brennan. Brennan then finds Ellis Nixon. The ball was out the back to Jack Newbegin. There was another 3-on-2 overlap on.
It was actually 4-on-2, Jordan, if it went round the back.
5 and last. Holgate is going to try and go over himself before being pulled down. There's a great shot on Ellison Holgate, potentially high, but referee Luke Bland was right there, not interested in that. It's a handover ball.
Yeah, it's not the worst place to do a handover. Ellison sees a gap there and he's just gone for it, but some good defence by Thunder to stop that.
And the Thunder man will not be pushed back behind his line. He's done well there to play it around about 5-6 metres out. Mac Walsh, and that'll be the man. He's trying to get out of his tackle there, will Mac Walsh, but there's 3 of them round him. Brennan, Holgate and Ellis Nixon all involved, still within their own 10 metres here. Ackroyd will then find Dickinson, who's come up the opposite wing to take this forward. He's practically 70 metres from where he should be. Still short of their own 20. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half. Good defence here from Whitehaven. 4th tackle, and Newcastle are nowhere near their own 20. Ackroyd's trying to get the penalty and he's done well there. Ackroyd has made 5, 6, 7 or 8 metres, so he'll play this just short of their own 30 here, will Newcastle. Turnbull's trying to put the pressure on. The kick gets away, however it bounces. It is a hard surface out there. Lack of rain we've had pretty much across the country, but especially up here in West Cumbria will mean Henry Hadfield will grab the ball, but it means Whitehaven are starting this set in the Newcastle half, David.
Yeah, I thought that was their best defensive set of the game, was Whitehaven. That was a good, aggressive, disciplined set of 6 to keep Newcastle in their 30 and put a lot of pressure on the kicker and the back now in Newcastle's 30. So that's what a good defensive disciplined structure can give you.
Brown then finds Biggerdike. Biggerdike will look to step back inside. And James Farrell will pick him up and dump him correctly, safely. Holgate in a dummy half into the hands now of Cam Brown. Finds Brad Brennan. Brennan with a little skip and a stutter before being stopped. Tries to get his arm free. Does get his arm free into the hands of Ellison Holgate. Holgate, I think he's had to put a kick in because he was going to drop the ball. So I think he sort of needs must rather than anything else there from Ellison Holgate. But ball finds touch and it'll just be a handover here for the Newcastle side.
Yeah, just a little bit impatient there. A good offload by Brennan there, but just take the tackle and get them on the next. And if they can build that set a little bit more. So yeah, a little bit impatient, but again, another opportunity for Whitehaven to put Thunder under pressure.
Dickinson will look to try and fetch this ball forward for this Newcastle side, following the play the ball. 11-12 metres away from their own line here. It'll be Farrow now looking to take it forward, and he's going to be pushed back there 3, 4, 5 metres. Connor Holliday and is it Ellison Holgate it is that were involved. Donaghy's in there at dummy half. Finds Mac Walsh. Walsh didn't really want that ball, did he? He had seen Turnbull and Loufouet in front of him. I don't want to run at you, he was saying. He'll play the ball. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half, and that should be forward, yeah. Jamie Gill doesn't look like the sort of player who's got that sort of speed, and it tells you when he's able to utilise the gap. That's because the pass was 2 or 3 yards forward, and it will be scrum down head and feet of Whitehaven, 21-22 metres out.
Yeah, just a little bit of mistiming by the big fella, but that was an obvious pass picked up by what looked like the linesman on this side. So good call there, but it was a great line, fantastic line, just a little bit early, should we say.
Got a stoppage, so we'll run through the half-time scores because we've got them. 1895 Cup, Bradford 6, Sheffield 8, Featherstone 10, London 6. Into the second half at Boundary Park, Oldham 10, Barrow 14. I believe Oldham with 10-0 up in that one as well. York 22, Widnes 6. Down into League One, a full-time score, Midlands 46, Dewsbury 12, Keighley 12, Swinton 0 was a half-time score, and it was Rochdale 16. Workington 6 according to the BBC Sport app and website, but we've got the game on, did have the game on behind us, and I think it might have been 16-12, so I'm not 100% sure on that one, but we know Rochdale have definitely scored 16 in that one. In the Challenge Cup quarter-final, as we've got it might have changed to be completely honest, but it's Waddington 14, St Helens 10. This will be scrum down head and feet to Haven when we do get underway, following the forward pass, 22 metres out, in at centre field, and the message should be, bang it down the middle, then go for the edges. Ball comes right from Holgate, from Newbegging, now finds Burns. That isn't the message because they're trying to go wide straight away. Burns will then come back inside after twisting out of 1, 2, 3 tackles. For being wrapped up there is the Whitehaven full-back and captain. 13 metres out to the right-hand side of the posts. Holgate's in there at dummy half. Now finds Brennan, and Brennan will just stick his head down and rumble. Brad Brennan! That ball is lost. Was he trying to get his arm free? I think he might have been. Someone needs to have a word with Brad Brennan. He's keep hold of that ball. Tries will come.
Yeah, most of the time that offload is a good offload, but on that occasion that's far too early, and surrounded by Newcastle Thunder defenders there, that's a poor place to try and do that. But if it had come off, they might have been trying the back of it, but still, risk versus reward there. Keep hold of it and get them on the next ones.
And Whitehaven's defence has certainly been on top so far in this second half. They are limiting the metres that Newcastle are gaining. Third tackle, and they're still short of their own 20. Loufouet and Brown involved in this tackle. I think it could be on Alex Taylor. Ackroyd's in there at dummy half. They're looking to get a kick away. It's going to be charged down by Cam Brown. So it means even Bickerdike will collect this ball, and Whitehaven are starting this. No, he's thrown the offload. He bounces into the hands of Mitchell Todd. He was being dragged towards the line. He was nowhere near. He was maybe a bit closer than he thought there, even Bickerdike, so felt he need to. But Mitchell Todd will start this first tackle 38 metres out into the hands now of Henry Hadfield. And Hadfield will be put down onto his back, but they're 25 metres out here at Whitehaven. In the middle of the field, goes right into the hands of Nixon. Newbegging throws the dummy in, takes the line on. It's a slow play of the ball. Holgate's in there at dummy half, finds Aaron Turnbull. Contact, finds the floor. Comes left. As Holgate scoots from dummy half, he's nearly through there, he should be through, he gets his pass back. I think, was it stripped, was it lost? Well, I mean, he's saying it went backwards, is it a knock on? I still don't know what the signal is, still waiting to see.
Yeah, I think
it's a goal line dropout. Yeah,
I think they've as Allison's nearly went over that line there. I think they've ripped it out. It's went behind the touch line there, and Haven have held them in goal, and it's now a dropout.
Yeah, watching the short one, we can hear from James Newton down below us how it affects Mike picking that up. Donaghy. No, they haven't gone short. In fact, they've gone really long. Turnbull collects just in the Funder half. He's fetched it to 30 metres away from his own line as the former Egremont Ranger. Holgate in a dummy half, now finds Brad Brennan. He's still looking to get that arm through there, he's Brad Brennan. 15 metres out now, Whitehaven. Second tackle. Holgate scoots from dummy half. He was looking for options. Still hasn't found them, but he's gone back the other side and he's trying to use his pace. There is Ellison Holgate. And that is why Whitehaven signed Ellison Holgate. Initially he wasn't anything on the left hand side, but had the nous and more importantly the pace to be able to go around the other side. Fantastic work from the Whitehaven hooker. And in the 57th minute, the 50-point mark, Whitehaven have reached. It is Whitehaven 52, Newcastle 56.
That's exactly why that's exactly why Whitehaven signed Ellison Holgate, Jordan. It's took him a while. It took a while to get Ellison out of the amateur ranks, but he's done what he needed to do in the amateur ranks now, and he's stepping up to another level now at Whitehaven. But that's exactly why Whitehaven bought, because he can make something out of nothing. And that's exactly what he's just done there. And a beautiful step at the end to I don't think the fullback even touched him. So nice to see Ellison, the early sort of stages of Ellison's progression and to this level really. And I think he'll get better and better, as with many players on that pitch. They'll just get better and better and better. But fantastic individual try by Ellison Holgate.
Jordan Burns will once again look to tag on the extras. 8 from 8 so far. He's the Whitehaven captain. Can he make it 9 from 9? We'll soon find out when he comes at it. Right footed. He can. 9 from 9. 18 points with the boot. And he scored a try as well, didn't he? 22 points. I tell you what, if they carry on going, points in the game record might not be too far away. 32. Jointly shared by Mick Nanning and Greg McNally. That was a bit the one that I found that on Wikipedia halfway through the Como game last week, trying to confirm record scores. None of them come up eventually. There was a few that could have been up for grabs. Obviously Mason Lewthwaite scored 4, Jordan Burns scored 4. Tries in the game are jointly held by Vince Gribbin and Andrew Bowman with 6. But points in the game overall is 32, Greg and Mick Nanning. So if Whitehaven continue going and Jordan gets over for another try, potentially 2, that couldn't be too far away.
And the way Mason Lewthwaite's gone, look at Craig Calvert's record.
The way he's going, yeah, it could be done by the end of the season, the way Mason's gone. But Brad Brennan will fetch the ball forward from the kick-off. Jordan did tag on the extras, as we mentioned, so it's 54 points to 6 in favour of Whitehaven. And it's Mitchell Todd will now be the man to fetch this ball forward here. 30 metres away from their own line, centre field at Whitehaven. Holgate's in there at dummy half, into the hands now of Turnbull. Turnbull, who's called, held, and has got up and run away. Was a penalty back in the day, but you get an opportunity these days to just go back and play it. Holgate's pass has gone between 3 or 4 of them and bounced before bouncing into the hands of Ethan Biggerdike. So the Funder defence gets an opportunity to just swarm around him, and he's brought down 32 metres away from his own line. Brad Brennan once again will look to take this ball forward, and he's made 15 metres there as Brad Brennan. It is the 5 and last, short of the halfway line. Comes left into the hands of Brown, and Brown has to run round before getting the kick away, before Matt Walsh, I don't know how he collected it, but he collected it. And he'll be stopped. A combination of Ellis Nixon, Aaron Turnbull and Ellison Holgate will just dive on the top of them. 25 metres away from their own line. Goes left. A couple of pairs of hands. Is that Dickinson, I think, who looks to be playing in the centres currently. Great defence from Whitehaven. Who's in there? Newbegin, Hadfield, Connor Holliday. Who's that man off there as well? That'll be Chris Taylor. And he's then being penalised there of Whitehaven. I'm not too sure what for. It looked like to be the man that was on top of Jack Newbegin. Sort of 6-1 half of the dozen of it, if there was anything. But Jack Newbegin, yeah, it's a penalty for the Newcastle Thunder.
Yeah, and I think Newbegin's just been caught on the bottom there. He can't do a thing about it to move. And I thought he might have just let him up and got him to play the ball, but he's given a penalty for some reason.
So Thunder clear it long, and they'll start this set in the Whitehaven half. From what I can remember, they haven't had too many opportunities in this second half up here in the Whitehaven half, and they're looking to go for it from play one. It's into the hands now with James Farrer. It's gone through, 5, 6, 7 pairs of hands there before getting to Farrer on this right-hand side.
And to be honest, that's probably Gateshead's best bet on their side. Going wide quite early, try and get the Whitehaven on the outside. They had a little bit of success early doors in the first half, I think that's about it, because there's nothing up the middle at this moment in time with the way Whitehaven are defending.
Bit of a throwback there from David Seeds, Gateshead. I'll let you did say Gateshead, yeah, I'll let you off, it's alright. It comes in right now. And Cam Brown nearly with the interception, but Bateman is able to keep hold of it. Loufwaite's wrapped him up alongside Ethan Bickerdike. They're 28 metres out. They're not making an awful lot of metres forward here at the moment on Newcastle, but they are trying to poke that line. Fantastic work from Brad Brennan to bring down his opposite number, Josh Stoker. He's the 5 and last. The 22 metres out, goes left into the hands then of Elliot Shaw. Shaw to put the kick towards the corner, and Hadfield. And that is going to be. Hadfield didn't take it cleanly, and then it come off his hand. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled, and it looked like Harry Lowdy was going to go over for the easiest try you'll ever see, and it come off the post padding, and Hadfield was able to collect it.
Harry Hadfield won't be as lucky. He won't be as lucky today. Won't be as lucky this week or even this year. He went to catch that ball, but he's jumped far too early there, and he's just mistimed that jump, and it's come off somebody, and then, as I say, it's just hit the pad there, and for what would have been a try.
Holgate's nearly through the gap there, scooting from dummy half was the former Waff Brown man. Brown's in there at dummy half now, and he's now looking to try and utilise a gap before finding Jordan Thompson. And Whitehaven, 5 and last, 40 metres away from their own line, goes right into the hands of Newbegin. Newbegin kick will go deep. Donaghy, he's done well to take it there as Donaghy, because he looked like he was taking it, having to fumble, and it is now finds Mac Walsh, and Walsh will be. Turnbull's trying to get the strip on the ball one-on-one before Jordan Thompson got involved and places 30 metres out, and Donaghy, ball goes backwards. That's some good work from Adam Turnbull there at marker. And Thunder haven't made any metres there, just laterally rather than forward. Before Hansen finds the pass, and it's going to be a knock-on here. Connor Holliday involved in that tackle. Up on contact, it's the second rower, Alex Taylor, on that side. Be scrum down, head and feet here to Whitehaven, 40 metres out.
Yeah, just Whitehaven making that tackle again, a little bit messy there, and Thunder trying to play the ball as quick as they can. I think they've just come up with a little knock on there.
Centre field, 40 metres out. Here will Whitehaven. We make it just about to tick over into the 64th minute.
Newcastle still playing with 12 men there, somebody in the background.
Yeah, eventually got a stoppage.
That's it, he's coming off.
Yeah, it's Jacob Bateman, the man that's on dual registration from Bradford Bulls. Well, I don't know who's going out there, because it says it's Matthew Handy and he's the 18th man. I love it when they change numbers about and don't tell you. I'll try and find out after the game. But it's scrum down, head and feet here to Whitehaven. Unless they've had an HIA, and you don't know, because then there's nothing through a couple of penalties. I don't know. Hands in the hands now with Cam Brown. Brown then finds Bickerdike. Bickerdike will look to get his arm free, but there's no one there. 22 metres out. Holgate's in there at dummy half. Brown now finds Adam Turnbull. Met there by 3 Newcastle defenders, but they weren't able to stop him initially. Have eventually put him down. Holgate once more in a dummy half, goes right. Jordan Thompson, Jack Newbegin with a double pump before finding Connor Holliday. Holliday looks to twist and turn out of the tackle, but he's taken down within 5 metres here to Whitehaven, maybe 10, 12 in from the popular side touchline. Newbegin now finds Jordan Thompson. Thompson stands up. In line with the right hand side post, less than 5 metres out. Holgate, will he look to go himself? He'll find Cam Brown. It's incorrect. Play the ball from Jordan Thompson. And Cam Brown kicks it through, puts it down. All for nothing though, and it will be a play over, turn the ball. 16 minutes to go here at the recreation ground. Newcastle 50, Whitehaven 54, Newcastle 6.
I always wondered, Jordan, if they went through every play of the ball and how many people do not touch it in a game of rugby, then it's a mass amount of people. But yet it doesn't condone it. You shouldn't be, if that's the rule, then Jordan's got to he's got to touch that ball.
But it's them sort of ones that only seem to get given when they're within 15 metres of a try line. That doesn't get penalised within halfway. Fantastic defence there from Whitehaven. They've pushed that Newcastle man back there 15 plus metres. There was 4 of them involved, and then it's going to be a penalty. Well, yet again, he's been pinned on the bottom. How can if the man's lying on top of him, what is he meant to do? Surely that should be a penalty the other way. Not that I'm saying it should have been a penalty, but if there's a man pinned and that man's on top of him, what's he meant to do? There's literally nothing he can do.
You're right, Jordan, and I don't know the sense behind it really. I can only think he's given it to the Thunder because he's trying to slow the play the ball down on the bottom.
5 penalties apiece in the penalty stakes. Under a quarter of an hour to go as we make it here, as Hansen takes a tap from the penalty. And then comes into the hands of Josh Stoker, and Stoker will be put down onto his back, 33 metres out, centre field. Comes into the hands now of Harry Lowry. Big man is Harry Lowry, brought down 9 metres short of halfway. And then that's an incorrect play of the ball. Well, to be fair, the referee's proved it on there, because I've just said they don't get penalised in the centre of the field. He's penalised one in the centre of the field. All fairness to him, he's given that there. He's been quite even for both sides.
I think on that occasion he's touched the ball. He just hasn't got up first to play the ball. He's played it while he's trying to get up. So, but he did touch the ball.
Aaron Turnbull coming on to be replaced by Jake Pearce. So the starting props are back out there for Whitehaven. Holgate goes right after Nixon plays the ball and finds Jordan Thompson. Thompson's brought down 18 metres out just to the right hand side of the post there. Whitehaven attacking the Kells end in the second half. Comes across now to Cam Brown. Brown then finds Newbegin, finds Jordan Burns. Burns finds Biggerdike. He can't keep hold. I'm just waiting to see. He blew his whistle. Is it penalty for? How come? Hold on. He says he's called. Yeah. Jordan, he's called Jordan Burns for offside because he was in front of the ball. Right, okay. Just let me get me bearings. Let me understand what's going on.
But again, gone wide early doors, and it just looks still looks clunky. Still looks a bit. It isn't free flowing on them fringes at the moment.
Looking to go for it yet again from player one. And Newcastle, they're quite happy to throw the ball themselves and try and find some gaps on the edges. There haven't been all too coming this afternoon, as Toby Gibson's a man that's taken down. Donaghy's in there at dummy half. Comes across a couple of pairs of hands before finding Harry Lowry, and Lowry's met by 3 Whitehaven defenders. Nixon, Lewthwaite and Jake Pearce will be the first man off. They'll make it up to 35 metres away from the Whitehaven line. Matty Rolls will be the man in there at dummy half. Comes across then to Charlie Yeomans, and that should be crossing. No, because he's hit the floor. I'll let them off. Fair play. 12 and a half to go to the full-time hooter. Now this might be Matthew Handy. It might be George Birch. It could be anyone, because he is meant to be the 18th man. He's the number 15. However, it is the 5 and last, as James Farrer was the man in there at dummy half. They're looking to go for it here in Newcastle. Shaw puts the kick in. The target in Henry Hadfield. He collects it on the full on that occasion, does Hadfield, and he's brought down 10 metres away from his own line. Ellis Nixon's limping off, so that's not a good sign. Jack Kellett will be the man to replace in just a moment. I think he's maybe just his engine's blown more than anything else there from Ellis Nixon. As it's now Mitchell Todd will look to fetch his ball forward for Whitehaven. 22 metres away from his own line when he's taken down centre field. Holgate goes right. Jordan Thompson will try and find a gap there. Couldn't find the gap, but he's made nearly 20 metres there as Jordan Thompson, so congratulations to him. Holgate in there at dummy half, goes right into the hands. A couple of pairs of hands, and Whitehaven looking to go for it again, and Hadfield couldn't keep hold of it. Newbegin got it away to Taylor. Taylor got it away quickly, and it's found touch. Be scrummed down, head and feet to Funder just inside the Whitehaven half. And the attack in the second half, you've already mentioned David Seeds, can be described as clunky.
We mentioned in the first half, Jordan, how Whitehaven went away from what was going well. Up that middle, catching Thunder up that middle with fast play of the balls, and then eventually when they get the territory on the try line, it was still working then. So, we keep insisting on going wide on both sides, and as I say, just very nervy out there. The passes aren't going to the two hands when the depth isn't there. Just doesn't look right at the moment.
Donaghy got the ball from the base of the scrum, throwing a couple of pairs of hands, but he's tried to do things himself there, Alex Donnelly. I understand why he's trying to do, because he's the star player out there for this Newcastle side. There's that man who we're not too sure who it is, because Birch I hadn't seen, so could it be Birch? Has there been a late change? Could be Handy. Ball goes left now, into the hands end of the loose forward, Toby Gibson. And he's going to be pushed back 5-6 metres by Holgate, Jordan Thompson, and the last man off will be Jake Pearce. Matty rolls in there at dummy half, comes right, and ball is dropped by Elliot Shaw, the half-back. It's really scrappy. There's 10 minutes to go. Scrum down, heading for it to Whitehaven. Haven 54, Thunder 6. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online.
Yeah, no team really taking control of this game and correcting their mistakes and their errors. You know, and that's where I would hope today Whitehaven would have been that bigger team where, you know, it was capable of correcting itself, resetting itself, and getting back to the simple basics that have proved really well in this game for them. That's a disappointment at the moment. It's an awfully what we've got left. 10 minutes left. We can finish with a bit of a bang.
Chris Taylor gets the ball from the base of the scrum, and he could be through. He is needed through there, Chris Taylor. He then finds Henry Hadfield on the right hand side. Has he got the pace as Henry Hadfield? He hasn't. Donaghy has brought him down, and that should be a penalty for the second effort to get the 6 again instead of Whitehaven. It's got to be a penalty, surely. Collins comes on to replace Alison Holgate. In the meanwhile, Jordan Thompson now has ball in hand, and that's the penalty that Whitehaven wants in for offside. And it'll be Luke Collins, who's got ball in hand, who'll look to take the tap. Whitehaven within 10 metres here. Finds Jake Pearce, and Pearce will run the line he wants, and brought down, what, a metre short, if that. Just to the right-hand side of the post, and that player's on again. Jack Kellett's over for his hat-trick. Jack Kellett is over. That player we said was on straight away. You could just see Collins, how he was sort of shaping up at dummy half. There's 8.5 to go as we make it here at the recreation ground. Whitehaven cross for their 10th of the afternoon. It is Whitehaven 58, Newcastle Thunder 6.
I kid you not, Jordan, if that move, that's the third time they've scored with that same move. And I kid you not, if every time Whitehaven went up to Newcastle's try line and did that move, I think they would have scored. But it's recognition of what works and what doesn't work. And as I say, it's we've tried to go wide on occasions and just totally unsuccessful today. Whereas that move there and that little bit of work around that ruck has proved really successful today. So, yeah. A little bit disappointed with the Whitehaven performance on that, but you know, nearly 60 points. This should be 60 points now. You can't knock that scoreline.
I wondered if Brad Brennan's gone to the night shift. Do you think he might be? He's got right in and went and got changed. You might be needed back on here, Brad. There's 7.5 to go. Oh no, they put Luke Collins back out there. There was the final that change, so he's not needed. So he's went and got changed. I wonder if he's gone right the night shift. Is Brad Brennan? Of course, not living around these parts, so it might be a couple of hours on for him to go to work following that. But it is now, as Jordan Burns is 10 from 10, 24 points with the boot. He's only 8 points away from that record.
Somebody get the message on.
Somebody get the message on. It's now Whitehaven 60, Newcastle 6. Like you say, so that's 24 points altogether. He has just scored the one try, hasn't he, Jordan Burns? I'm not doing him a disservice there. Yeah, just the one try. That's second to last try in the first half. So yeah, he is 24 points. Is Jordan Burns. And Newcastle are taking their time. Around about 6.5 to go as we make it here at the recreation ground. As Donaghy put the ball down on the kicking tee. Still haven't had any sort of stoppage from the man in the middle. And it'll be Jordan Burns. It's underneath the kick-off and finds Jordan Thompson. Thompson's wrapped up, put down onto his back. 21-22 metres out. Collins in there at dummy half. Goes right then into the hands of Jake Pearce. And Pearce will find 10, 11, 12 metres. 15 short of halfway here to Whitehaven. Into the hands now of Kellett. Kellett finds Weir. There was a play that they were looking for there, but Whitehaven and Weir, I think, just slightly overran it initially. Jordan Thompson gets the sponsors man of the match. Still 5 minutes to go as we make it. Luke Collins has dove under the tackle. Being wrapped up there has the Australian. 30 metres out. Kellett in there at dummy half. Goes right into the hands now of Jordan Thompson. Jack Newbegging now. Then finds Connor Holliday. Holliday looks to have to step back inside. It is now the 5 and last. 17, 18 metres out. Collins is in there at dummy half. Newbegging looks to put the kick over the top into the hands of Cam Brown. Brown. Oh, he's scored out of it. There's Cam Brown. Fantastic work from Cameron Brown. No, he passes it to his Luke Collins instead, and it's Collins that gets the try. Well, it's all about teamwork out there. It is now Whitehaven 64, Newcastle Thunder 6.
And I just asked the question, is that Luke Collins' first try?
No, it's his second.
Right.
No, I understand why you do that, but it would have been Cam Brown's first try.
Right.
So, fair dues.
So Cam Brown didn't score.
Cam Brown didn't score, no, he's passed it to Luke Collins.
So he's still on the.
He's still on the nudie. Which Jordan
nudie
Thompson
lap.
was quite happy to be off after last week. And
the
then,
nudie lap, yeah.
Yeah, but no, he's still on the nudie lap.
Right.
But it's Whitehaven's 11th of the afternoon. I'm just. Yeah, he has passed it. Just trying to. Fair play. He might be quite confident himself, Cam Brown. Let's just say that. He might be quite confident of doing that nudie run. We won't say any more than that, but.
Nothing to do with a visa, is it?
No, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Absolutely no idea. But in the meanwhile, Whitehaven's 11th of the afternoon. All the work comes from Cam Brown, but it'll be Luke Collins that gets the credit in the paper tomorrow. And Jordan Burns will look to tag on the extras, and will take him within 6 points of that record of points scored in a game. 11 of 11 coming from the boot. 22 points here for Whitehaven. It is Whitehaven 66, Newcastle Thunder 6, all the sixes.
Yeah, I think Newcastle now just looking for the Uta to go now. Been a long day for them. A good day for Whitehaven. Not the best day for Whitehaven, but a good day for Whitehaven with plenty of learning, no doubt, to come from it.
Alex Donaghy yet again. He'll take as much time as he wants. We're not in the final. I haven't seen him stop the clock. Should have the clock stopped if you're in the final 5 minutes, but Donaghy with the kick-off. Jack Newbegging collects. He'll get to within, gets to sort of 22, 23 metres away from his own line. Collins in there at dummy half. To scoot himself will Luke Collins. Someone just go and tell Jordan Burns that he's only a converted try away from himself from hitting his points record. We might see Whitehaven trying to go from all over the place here. Chris Taylor will be wrapped up on halfway eventually when he plays the ball here. Collins in there at dummy half, comes left into the hands of Keller, now finds Brown, finds Biggerdike. Biggerdike will try and hand one man off, and he does, but gets the offload away, bounces into the hands of the Newcastle man, and they'll now have the ball. That's where Whitehaven have been scrappy and clunky this afternoon. Not often you can say you've been scrappy and clunky when you scored 66 points, but Whitehaven have been in stages this afternoon. Matt Walsh will be the man looking to fetch this ball forward, and that's where they've been good, however, pushing men back in defence. Kellett and Thompson did that a little bit there. Goes left into the hands of the half-back. Finds Charlie Yeomans, and Yeomans gets it away, and the Newcastle Thunder man will be taken down 40 metres outward into the final 2 minutes as we make it here at the recreation grounds. Into the hands now of Harry Lowry. And Lowry, the prop forward, will be taken down, will he? It will be eventually. It's taken 3 of them to do so in around about 5-6 metres. As rolls in there at dummy half. You heard the shout there potentially from James Newton of no tries. Into the hands of Donaghy. Donaghy gets it over the top and will bounce into the hands of Dickinson. Dickinson will be taken down. It is the 5 and last. 30 metres out. Donaghy's in there at dummy half. Just having a set 2 there to Hadfield and Dickinson, which you don't need to do when you're 60 points up. I'm sure I heard the shout of all offside, but it might have been from a Whitehaven member of the Whitehaven backroom staff. And the Newcastle Thunder man did get to that ball there, but he's been able to be wrapped up, got there ahead of Mitchell Todd, and we're into the final minute as we make it here
Yeah, just got that kick there. Could have done it with a little bit more protection. Mitchell Todd from his centre or his half back there, just to take a bit of pressure off him on that catch. But they've caught the ball and Whitehaven have managed to capture the Thunder player who's got that.
Bickerdike plays the ball. Collins in there to dummy half. It's now Mason Lufwait. Jordan Burns needs to be on the shoulder of everyone and everything here. I doubt he even knows. It's just us that probably know, and you listening at home. Even Bickerdike is the man to fetch it forward now. Sort of 19 short of halfway, 31 away from his own line. There's the hooter into the hands of Cam Brown. Brown is he going to elect to take the tackle? I think he is. No, he's going through. He's nearly through there. Full time here at the recreation ground. It is Whitehaven 66, Newcastle Thunder 6, and when he'll go, it was quite convincing, and at times it was for Whitehaven, but